first off, I just have to ask you about this. McLovin. Where did that come from? And do you even like that nickname?
I don't know. I don't endorse it at all. A lot of people call me that. But no, it's just from a good friend with an insanely thick Norwegian accent one morning just asked me, "Hey, McLovin." Like, I was just like, what? And then it just caught on. It's been like 2 years people have been calling me that, and I don't know why, but I guess you could say I'm a loving person.
I guess so. But when you think about nicknames, it's always got to be something based on the name. And if you have a Mick, it's got to be...
Oh, for sure. It comes
better than
from
McMuffin.
Yeah, a lot of people, some friends call me that too.
Do they?
Yeah, they call my brother that more than me, which is okay.
A younger brother, right?
Older.
Older brother.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you just had to take me sort of back to the days when did you start snowboarding? I'm really curious about how you went from Regina, the flattest place on the planet, to flying off of mountains.
Yeah, my parents were really into sports when I was a kid. We made trips out to the mountains. I went to the mountains for the first time when I was 5. I went snowboarding that day. I snowboarded once that year, went back the next year, snowboarded. My parents bought me a snowboard when I was 7. We had a local hill out 45 minutes outside of Regina, which is called Mission Ridge.
282 vertical feet.
Yep. We had a few boxes where I practiced, and my parents did a few more trips a year out to the mountains because I loved it so much. When I was 12, Team Saskatchewan, Russ Davies started that, which was so amazing because I got the opportunity to go out to COP, which is the Canadian Olympic Park, almost every weekend. Lots of driving, but I was able to ride good jumps and parks and took advantage of every opportunity I had because I had such a strong passion for it. It was just like I started skateboarding when I was 5 and it was something to do in the winter, but I loved it so much and it just took off from there.
So you basically grew up looking for anything vertical?
You could say that.
Yeah? You come from the flat, your dog runs away, you can see it for 3 days, right? There's that old joke. You fly into Saskatchewan, Saskatoon or Regina, and it's just farmland. And I just saw pictures of Mission Ridge online, and you can see, it's not very great vertical or anything like that, but you see the shot from, say, somebody snowboarding from behind, and all you see is prairie.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. It's insane. My family grew up, we had a farm, and I think it was great because we had a cabin out in the Qu'Appelle Valley where Mission Ridge is, and there's a lake, and we spent a lot of time out there in the summer, and when we were out there we'd stay out at the cabin and just ride that little resort as much as we could, and it was still fun for me. Any place I got to ride, it's still, I got a zillion runs a day because it was so small, but yeah, I learned how to snowboard like every other kid, just on a lot smaller scale.
And then when did you finally, I always wonder this, you see pictures or video of you flying off these jumps, and you go, at some point you have to do that for the first time.
Yeah, and you progress to become able to hit bigger and better things, and that's why that's when I was able, going out to the mountains almost every weekend, I was hitting that stuff and progressively getting better and moving on and so on and so forth. And that's now I ride the best resorts in the world, the best terrain, the biggest terrain, and I'm very fortunate for that.
And you're 19.
I sure am.
And that's okay, tell me if you can, off the top of your head, last 5 countries or even like the next 5 countries you're visiting. Over the next, say, month.
Yeah.
Do you even know
The next month, I'm going Austria tonight, Switzerland next weekend, Russia the next weekend, back to Canada the next weekend States, and then we go to Euro X Games in France. So that's a month and a half right there. It's insane.
How do you keep track of them?
Adam and my team managers, everybody that supports me is great. I couldn't ask for better sponsors, and I'm very fortunate.
Well, I mean, I guess your thing is that you fly, but how do you stay grounded? Do you go back to Regina a lot?
Yeah, definitely when I get to go home, I just like, oh, back to the normal. Like all my friends there, a lot of people know me there, but it's like everybody just treats me like I'm just, a normal Saskatchewan guy, and that's the way I would like it to be. It's mellow. I like going home. You know what? When I go home, I don't snowboard. I just get to hang out with my friends and a lot of times do media and do whatever I need to do to get ready to leave again. But yeah, going home is mellow. There is a lot that goes with all this traveling and contests, and I learn a lot. It's like it's a big education outside of school.
Have you? When did you first think that this could be a career? I mean, it's a career now, right?
I felt like it was coming for a while when I was 13, 14, and my parents were having a hard time biting, to catch on with me, yeah, I need to go to all these places, I have to. And then when I was 15, my parents came to the first World Cup, or first big event they've ever came to in Calgary, and I won the World Cup, and I remember they gave me $12,000 in cash, and my mom was just like couldn't believe it, and that's when I feel like she really okay, he knows what he's doing, and kind of let me go for a bit.
Well, but your dad's a provincial politician, right? So did they, I know with my parents, they always thought of careers as in a very sort of a tight box kind of way, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't think of it really outside the box, anything sort of creative. So they probably said, well, you should be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. They probably thought about that. I mean, they probably didn't even think snowboarding could be a career.
Yeah, I felt like my dad was a little bit more open at the start, but now they're both totally on board. They see what I do. They see how I inspire kids. It's a big thing, and it's really, I'm just so fortunate to be at the top of the level I'm at right now, and be winning and leading up to this Olympics. There's a lot riding on my back. I feel like a lot of people are looking at me to do well, and I just got to stay focused on my path, which I do as much as I can, and if that all goes well and I do what I can do, it'll all fall into place.
One of the things I read about you is that somebody said that you don't really, your thing is that you don't really show pressure. I mean, I'm sure you feel pressure. Everybody feels pressure, but is that accurate, or is that just something that somebody wrote?
No, I try my very hardest not to show it. I feel like pressure, and I've noticed when I do perform well, I feel like a lot of the times I do have a lot of pressure, and I don't know what it is, but I feel, I put it to the side, and I try my very hardest to do that. It's really interesting when I have all this pressure and all this stuff, people bugging at me. The best time for me is when I get to go snowboarding. I don't feel it as much. It's all the stuff leading up to the snowboarding and up to when I have to drop in and up to when I have to do that trick, When I'm snowboarding and about to do it, I enjoy it. It's so much fun, and I just do it because I practice that, I don't necessarily practice pushing pressure to the side, but I am learning, and I definitely try. I don't know what it is. Maybe I try really hard when there's a lot of pressure, but a lot of my success comes in high pressure situations.
So slopestyle is going to be in the Olympics in Sochi for the first time, right?
You're right.
First time. So I was telling Adam, I'm a snowboarder, but I'm one of those carver guys.
Yeah,
I don't go into the trees.
I love to carve. Everybody loves to carve, and I think there's so many. That's why snowboarding is so cool. You can do so many different things and have so much fun. You can jump off the biggest stuff you want to. You can ride a perfect groomer. You can go ride in the trees. There's just so much diversity to the sport. It's insane.
I love snowboarding, but what I don't understand, half pipe is the signature event, right? Right now, but slopestyle is that's the big air event. And so is it accurate to suggest that slopestyle is the one that some people are hoping will become the event?
Well, it is the event. half pipe was put in the Olympics a long time ago because it's been around longer, but you go to any resort in Canada, there's maybe 3 that have a half pipe. Every resort has a jump or a box. 99.9% of kids growing up don't ride half pipes. They ride jumps and rails. That's why it is the sport. And you will know when it, after Sochi's done, like you'll see it. It's so, on TV, it's the coolest thing to watch. It's just,
you can't argue that.
yeah,
it's phenomenal.
and it's the future of snowboarding, and it's the present. It's been like that for 5-10 years. It's just the mainstream media doesn't know that because it's not in the Olympics, but now that it is, you guys will see.
So, do you know how fast you go off these jumps? Have they ever timed, like, in terms of like how fast you're going and how high and how far?
Not necessarily, like you never, because every jump's different. You find your speed throughout the week in practice, and you know.
But the big jump, like, would you be going 80 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, or something like that? I mean, would you even...
Well, I don't know, like really, say you're hitting a 100-foot jump, maybe you're going 70 kilometers, and I don't know what speed, like, we don't have GPSs on, you know.
What do you think about when you're flying through the air? When you hit that jump and you're flipping and doing some crazy trick and like back over end, whatever it is, what do you think?
Well, before you do all that flipping and whatnot, you hit the jump and make sure you have the correct speed. And before you need to ease into your tricks each week on a different jump, any different jump. But when you are doing that, you should not be thinking about anything but the trick, you know? Like, you should trust that you have the right speed, trust that you're going to land in the good spot in the landing, trust that you know the trick, so you focus on the trick and focus on landing as squared as possible and riding away.
And what's your signature move?
I would say my signature move is the backside triple cork 1440. It was the one that I was the first one to ever do it.
Okay. Definition of that, though. What I mean, for an audience that, say, doesn't snowboard, what does that mean?
The backside triple cork 1440 is a backside rotation. So I'm riding up the jump. I lean onto my toe side edge before, if you're a left foot regular footed rider, and you would spin backside. So here's the jump. You turn your back away from it, okay?
Yeah.
And that starts the rotation, and it's a backside triple cork, so it's 3 corked flips with 4 360s, which equals a 1440.
It's confusing even thinking about it, much less coming up with it.
Yeah, you know, it builds off of other tricks, but it is getting so technical that the names are getting insane, you know. I never thought I'd be saying triple cork or 1440s. Like a couple years ago, 1080s were the biggest thing, you know, and we're doing 360 more. But as the tricks progress, the courses get better, the jumps get bigger, there's more airtime, they're more safe. It's everything is just progressing at such a rapid rate. It's going to be crazy to see where it is in 5 years, and I just hope I can stay at the top.
All right, so I just want to ask you about, I guess the last things I want to ask you about is just basically this, the last couple of years of just this sudden fame that you've had. Has it been easy to deal with, hard to deal with?
You know what, it's really cool because with all these accomplishments come insane opportunities to meet people I've always looked up to, people that have accomplished even more than me and bigger and better things. And it gives me so much motivation to keep going and keep going and keep pushing and keep reaching new goals, you know. And I think my next goal is to win a gold medal at the Olympics, and that's the plan for this next year. And everybody's on board with me, my sponsors, my family, my friends, and most importantly, that's my main drive. And it's really cool to see the goals get bigger and progress and trying to reach them. And it's really, I think everybody's backing me, and it's definitely exciting to get well known, and I don't mind it at all. It's fun.
So your sponsors are what? Red Bull,
Burton. Oakley, DVS shoes. It goes on and on. Mophie. the Source Board Shop in Calgary. I started my own company called Awesome, like AWSM, with a few other riders. We're in Zoomies all across America and some stores in Canada, and it's so like I said, all these opportunities come from these accomplishments, and there is a side outside of snowboarding that I'm already being involved in. So when I'm 40 and my body doesn't want to jump off these things anymore, I have other stuff going on, and it's really exciting for me.
But if things work out the way they're working out now, you can buy an island by when you're 40. If you think about it.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
So Shaun White, I mean, you beat him this past weekend. Is this a guy you look up to?
He was a guy I watched as a kid. You know, you watch the X Games, but over the last few years, I compete against him most weekends. Like, you know, he's getting back into. I think he took some time off after Vancouver, but now he's competing for the last few years. And if you like the first few times, like, holy crap, that's Shaun White, you know. But now that I compete against him, he's a guy to compete against, you know. He's done a lot for snowboarding and brought it to mainstream media because he's very well known, which has helped out a lot. But I think there's more to be said about snowboarding, and I'm glad I'm at the level I'm at, and I'm trying to share all the knowledge I have and show you guys what it's all about.
So do you bristle when people say the next Shaun White, or do you want to just be the first Mark McMorris?
Well, I am Mark McMorris, exactly. You know, and I think I'm on my own path, and you guys will notice that over the next few years. And it doesn't make me mad when people call me that, but I'm trying to set my own road, you know, and own path.
And last thing, are you Rolling Stone? Are you going to be on the cover of it, or?
I just had a feature in the last magazine that came out for the January or February issue or whatever, which was pretty cool to see, you know. But I'm sure, I don't know what they have planned for me next, but it's pretty cool.
So they haven't told you you're going to be on the cover or anything?
No. I wouldn't. We'll see after the Olympics, you know, that might need to go good first.